here, and it is just really, really cool. Another thing that might be useful is stream delay. This can be turned on and enabled here, and then you can set a duration that you want to go ahead and delay the stream by. So if you want to delay your stream by 20, 30 seconds, even a minute, 2 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, you can do that. This is great if you're playing, like, say, video games and you're streaming yourself in a tournament, or if you're just playing online and you are a popular streamer or somebody that's doing pretty decent streaming and you just don't want to get stream sniped. So this is a really cool setting there. Automatically reconnect. This is pretty neat if you do have internet issues from time to time. What this will do is after so many seconds, so say every 10 seconds, we're going to try to reconnect the stream back to whatever server you're streaming to, whether that's YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, things like that. Maximum retries. This just means we're going to try it every 10 seconds, 20 times. And then if it doesn't, then we're just going to stop. And pretty much everything else in here, like I said, is kind of niche and not relevant to most people that this tutorial is kind of being aimed at. So if you have any questions about that, maybe let me know in the comment section down below and I'll try to answer it if I can. Now we're going to talk about scenes. Scenes are really cool because it gives you a lot of options from a creative standpoint. It allows you to have different point of views. It allows you to add be right back screens, intros, outros to streams and things like that, and even just different recording options and layouts, which is really, really cool. So we can see here we've got one scene. If we want to add a scene, we click on the plus button and we can rename the scene here in real time, and we can add, I don't know how many, but we can add quite a few. So we could add like I said, I don't know how many, but you could add a lot. If you want to remove a scene, just highlight the scene in the list, click the negative button, and it says, are you sure you want to remove? Click yes. You can right click and add a new scene. You can right click on a scene and remove it. And then you can also change the order of scenes by using these arrow buttons here or by dragging them. Another really cool feature of scenes are scene collections. So say we had a need of where we stream to one account that is my personal Twitch account, and we have branding and everything for that set up in a bunch of scenes for that. And then say we do a charity stream every once in a while, and we stream for a charity and we have different scenes for that. Well, instead of having all of your scenes for your personal account and then scenes for like a charity account in one like collection of scenes, we can create a new collection, title that, and put all of those scenes in there. That way they are very simple to swap back and forth from, you know, those groups of scenes. Next up is sources. We're going to talk about adding them, naming them, moving them, resizing them, hiding them, locking them, cropping them, and explaining all of the different kinds of them. So I know that's a lot, but we're going to break those down slowly but surely. So we're going to add a display capture so I can show you guys what I'm talking about with those first few things that I mentioned. So we're not going to give them a name right off the bat because we're going to rename it in just a second. So display capture is going to essentially capture what all is on a monitor. So I'm going to select my left monitor. That way it's not as disorienting with that whatever effect we would call that. And what we're going to do now is resize this. So we have to select an object before we can resize it. So we can select the display capture by clicking here in sources, or if we click directly on it. Sometimes it's difficult to do that if you have other sources in front. That's why I explain it this way, so you can actually see multiple ways of doing it. To move something, all you do is click on it and drag, and you can see we're moving it around inside of the frame. We can also scale things down by grabbing on the corners and pulling them like this. So we're able to scale this down to somewhere around here. If you get somewhere, you know, something in here and you're wanting to center it, you can actually do transform controls of transform. For example, if we wanted to center to screen, we could do that, or we could just center vertically under the transform. We can rotate things inside of here using this. So that's kind of cool. So we'll reset transform, and we can see that this is actually back to the original layout. If we didn't want this to move, we could click on the lock here, and this will keep us from being able to move it. If we wanted to hide the source, we could click on the eye tool there. And then another really cool feature is if we needed to crop something, we can hold down Alt, and then instead of grabbing on the corner, which actually we can grab on the corner too, you can see that we're cropping it down like that, or we could crop in from the sides and things like that. So once again, just hold down Alt and grab one of these transform controls and drag it around, and then you can do that. And then the last thing inside of the sources that you can do to each individual source is rename. So right click on it, and then we could call this like monitor left, or maybe left monitor sounds better. So we'll do that and then enter. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys how to build a very, very basic scene involving quite a bit of the most common sources inside of OBS. So the first thing we're going to do, and I want to mention, this is not meant to be a very pretty looking scene. This is specifically to show you guys a bunch of the different features. So I'm going to create a color source, click OK. We're going to select a color, and this essentially just gives us a colored canvas. We'll click OK, and we're going to leave this as our background. We don't want this to move, so we're going to click on the lock here. So we've got our color source, and let's go ahead and rename that. We're going to rename that to background. And let's go ahead and click on the plus again. We want to add something else in. We're going to add in a video capture device. So this will be like a webcam or any kind of video input. And we're going to rename this to webcam because we're going to use our webcam. And I don't want to use that webcam. I actually have a better webcam, so we're going to use this one. So we'll go ahead and do that and click on OK. And we can actually drag this around and we can resize it. So we're going to resize this maybe to somewhere right around here, and we'll leave that alone. And we're going to go ahead and lock that. Now we want, let's say we want a display capture. So we'll click on plus here, display capture, and we'll do this same as we did a second ago, left monitor. Click OK. I'm going to select my left monitor from the list of items I have, and then I'm going to downscale this. And then we're going to put this somewhere right around here. So let's kind of scale this up. That's pretty cool. And we could, so we've done color source, video capture, display capture. I'll show you guys what I'll lock this source really quick. I'll show you what a game capture kind of looks like for setting up. We'll click game capture and click OK. And then mode, you can specify whether it's just anything that's full screen. So most games play in full screen. If not, you can select window and then tell it which window you want it to capture. Super simple. And game capture, in my opinion, is 100% recommended if you're playing a game.